Let's all calm down. You are on a beach. The water is lapping at your toes. Here's a tiny crab.
Goldberg's the Universal Champion.
You're not calm.
He's trodden on the crab. He's kicked over the sandcastle.
This is not calm.
And he's ruined the Fiend and the holiday and my
This
life.
is not mindfulness. We need to be calm with delivering the news.
Let's have a look at the headlines.
Goldberg is the new Universal Champion, and we have the reason why. New tag team champions were also crowned at Super ShowDown last night. And some interesting news about the AEW NXT ratings. We'll get to it in a little bit. But first, I'd like you to stay calm.
Stop it.
Focus on the sound of my voice.
Stop it.
Goldberg is the new WWE Universal Champion in 2020.
53 years old.
A spring chicken who defeated the arguably over-the-hill Fiend Bray Wyatt to usher in a new era in professional wrestling.
Right, this sucks. You're going to talk about it lots in Graded. What happened at is live now, but we're going to talk about now the reason why this title change has occurred from various reports. Reason one is a very, very obvious one. This is all about Roman Reigns. This is to get to Roman Reigns versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. And I think a lot of us saw that match coming. It's very, very frustrating to think that the Fiend's downfall has been all about Roman Reigns.
It's been all about Roman Reigns in the WWE for a long time, though.
Of course.
So this isn't a shock to the system. Now, Roman beating the Fiend at WrestleMania, that is a recipe for booze. And I don't mean a drinky on a Friday. Roman beating Goldberg at WrestleMania, maybe diluted booze.
Perhaps. I think if Goldberg comes out tonight, he is booked for SmackDown tonight. Goldberg will be there. If Goldberg comes out, he's going to get booed. If he really leans into it and he heals it up, Roman beating him at Mania might actually work. I'm just sad that it's all about Roman and they've sacrificed arguably the best character in WWE in the last 6 or 7 years. I think they've done him some real damage here. He should have never won the belt. Should have never won the belt. He should have never been booked in the world title picture, more importantly.
They painted themselves into a corner with this one, and Goldberg beating him kind of was it may not be the most ideal way out, but it was a way out. But I like the idea of heel Goldberg. He's already turned heel on Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, Macaulay Culkin's not going to Mania. He's cancelled his tickets to Tampa.
I know.
So little Kevin's not going to be there.
Goldberg called him a dork.
Did he?
Yeah. You might want to watch that because we've seen what Kevin McAllister does to old people that wreck his house. Whoa. What else? Why else was this?
Right.
Why else did this happen?
The second reason is more sort of business related, and this is to do with WWE are now shopping pay-per-views to new providers. We talked about this. It was talked about in the quarter 4 shareholder call, and Vince said that they're looking at selling pay-per-views to various on-demand services and live streaming providers, and that announcement could come as early as the end of quarter 1 this year.
Which suggests to me before WrestleMania.
Yes, absolutely. So WrestleMania might pop up on various other streaming services, and this is where it plays into what we saw at Super ShowDown, because essentially the belief is that Goldberg is a lot more marketable to a mainstream audience than The Fiend. We've got a really great quote here from Matt Eholt, who's a Yahoo Sports writer, who says, "End of the day, WWE is a company that is out to make dollar. It's Mania season. You can market Goldberg to every outlet. He's a father, former NFL guy, he's a Hall of Famer, he's genuine and good in those settings. Roman is very good too. It's hard to tell ESPN to bring The Fiend on."
The one time I saw The Fiend do something on TV, it was very weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, so
well, that was as Bray was, and didn't he do like a little Firefly Funhouse?
It was
thing?
Bray.
It did feel a bit
peculiar.
It worked.
I get it, and this is what I think as wrestling fans we lose a little sight of this, is that this is a company selling a product to as many people as possible, and kind of the idea of the purity of it being wrestling, at least in the WWE sense, kind of takes a backseat to that.
However, right, I'm just going to get this up. There's a great tweet by a guy called @Adam Pacitti on Twitter.
Never heard of him.
I get that nostalgia sells, but if WWE don't start building their stars now, then in 20 years' time, they won't have any nostalgia left to sell. I wanted to get that right because it took me about 5 minutes to write that tweet, and that's the way that I feel about this. That was so self-indulgent. I'm really sorry. I'm not a knob end, I promise. Well, so I think that's it. And if you don't build these stars, I guess you could argue that you're building Roman, but did Roman need this? Did it need to come at the Fiend's expense? Who's a great character who could come back and do very little in 10 years' time. Like, he could just do the claw and a few other bits, and it would work.
I kind of feel like the Fiend is still a factor in the company. Obviously, and we'll find out. I presume tonight on SmackDown, the talk is he's coming for John Cena. Mm-hmm. So he will still have a feature role. And you're right, and as we said earlier, that he should never have had the title on him. That was the company sort of seeing dollar signs, out to make dollar. They saw how popular the Fiend was and said, let's make him the top guy. And then kind of didn't, they sent him up to the top of the lift, but they hadn't finished the top floor. So it's like, well, we don't know how to get him down now. Like, it was, and that was the problem. So this kind of feels like the best way to do it. I mean,
I don't know. You know what? If Fiend beats Cena at WrestleMania, that's massive. Would it all be worth it? I don't know. I'll see how I feel on the day. Maybe Cena will beat him. You never know.
If Cena beats him, like, this is...
Yeah, that is...
death by 1,000 cuts to the Fiend. Like, it's just going to chop him down and chop him down and chop him down. But, hey, let's get to that when we get to it.
Breathe.
Let's all calm down. Also last night at Super ShowDown, new tag team champions were crowned for the first time since 2009.
John Morrison and The Miz defeating The New Day to pick up the SmackDown World Tag Titles. World Tag Titles? The blue belts. The two blue belts. They're the new tag champions. How do you feel about this?
I'm fine with it. I didn't think it would happen at Super ShowDown.
I thought they were going to hold off as well.
Yeah, I thought it might be something they do either on a SmackDown or maybe even at Elimination Chamber. Mm-hmm. I'm very surprised this happened at Super ShowDown. I thought the match was okay. I thought a lot of the matches were just... Well, I'll talk about it more in graded, but they were just like, all right.
I'm trying to think what the best match was. Angel Carrillo was all right, but the crowd weren't into it.
The crowd weren't into a lot.
No, they weren't.
Weird. It's a weird experience. If that was your first Saudi Arabia show, it's a weird experience because it's like a relatively quiet, somewhat disinterested crowd. Mm-hmm. Not all, but somewhat disinterested. But with a firework budget that rivals like Sydney at New Year. Yeah. It's almost like as I was watching Mansoor walk out and the sky was lighting up, I just thought maybe they've just been told, like, here's 10 million for fireworks, spend all of it.
Yeah, of course that's exactly what it is. It needs to feel magnificent, Tom. But it's as great as or greater than WrestleMania, equal to or great.
But did you notice they slightly buggered up Goldberg's?
Oh, fantastic. All the sparklers going off, and then Goldberg walks out, stands there for a bit, waiting to get showered in sprinkles. What are they called?
Spooters.
What are they called?
Spooters.
Sparks. And then nothing happens.
And then they did that long shot where they cut to the sky, towards the sky lights up, presumably spelling Goldberg in fireworks. Nothing happened.
Oh.
Mansoor got more fireworks than Goldberg.
Mansoor, I genuinely don't... It wouldn't surprise me if they spent more on fireworks than his NXT yearly contract is worth.
I think that's probably
right, tag team champions.
Tag title, sorry.
What's going to happen? Running up to WrestleMania?
I think we'll probably see, I reckon maybe even a ladder match between these guys.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a multi-man.
Like
I think it's going to be like the match where the Hardys returned, right? I think we're going to have the New Day. I think we're going to have the Usos. I think we're going to have Miz and Morrison in there. Maybe Heavy Machinery.
No, well, apparently Otis has got some plans with Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania.
For Mania.
Apparently.
I don't think they'll have
the fight.
Not a Mania.
Mandiana Pope.
I love the story. I just don't think they'll do it.
Well,
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, new tag champs. First time since they won, like I said, first time they won them since 2009.
Congratulations.
The Undertaker turned up at Saudi Arabia's Super ShowDown as well. And wow, that was both... With that gauntlet match, first of all, right, I called R-Truth.
You did you call him getting absolutely ruined at every turn?
No, but I called him going the distance, and he nearly did.
Nearly. He got busted open, then he took a serious headbutt from Andrade. And then two people ruined him after the bloody bell as well.
He earned his stripes that night, and then it doesn't matter anyway because the winner of the prestigious trophy, it looks a bit like a load of lollipops stuck together. The Undertaker. Here he is.
Wasn't in the match. if you haven't seen it, right, Rey Mysterio gets laid out backstage by Gallows and Anderson.
Thanks for flying all the way to Saudi Arabia, Ray.
Yeah. And then AJ's like, oh, okay, count me, ref, because Ray's not fit to compete. So he's go 1, 2, 3, 4, cut backstage again, and Gallows and Anderson are laid out, or one of them's just been slammed, maybe by his throat, who knows? And you see a trench coat and a pair of boots, and who could it possibly be?
Mansoor.
Mansoor comes out and he's the
God,
winner.
that would have been amazing if Mansoor had walked out in a trench coat and long trousers.
It's
I'd have given Super Showdown an A.
Taker comes out, and then, despite the fact that AJ hasn't had to wrestle at all, he just had to do a bit of dancing, really. Taker, bang, one choke slam, 1, 2, 3, and he's won the, what's it called? The 2-8 trophy. The prestigious.
They really hammed up how so prestigious that Undertaker looked at it, went, nah, mate.
Stop.
What? Although, like, in my head I was thinking, what would he do with it? Would he put it under his arm like a newspaper? Like, I don't know what he'd have done with it.
Stick it behind your TV and it looks lovely, doesn't it? It's like one of the Amberlight things.
Apparently, if you look on Undertaker's Twitter right now, it's in his fridge. In the true spirit of the full Monty, he kept his hat on the whole time. That's
Fantastic that.
Now, does this ruin the Undertaker Styles story before it's even started?
This is the thing, like, I'm really excited because I think AJ versus Taker could be the best match that Taker's had in maybe 5 years because AJ is fantastic and can make Taker, even in his old age, look great. However, AJ just got beat with one choke slam. What? AJ hadn't had to do anything. Didn't even take a tombstone, a last ride, a devil's gate, poke to the eyes.
Nothing. Just a choke slam that he nearly dropped him on.
Yeah, he did.
Just putting that out.
Yeah, I mean, still excited about the match, but what claim can AJ lay to the Undertaker's, anything?
The nice thing is that AJ is a heel, so he can turn up on Raw and say, I wasn't ready for you. I wasn't ready. You cheated.
Yeah,
you cheated. I don't like a cheat. Face me fair and square, one-on-one at WrestleMania.
But why should Undertaker go, yeah? What's his reason for doing it?
Put the trophy on the line, you coward.
Yes.
Put the trophy on the line, we'll stick it up your bum. In non-Saudi Arabia-based news, AEW and NXT went to war again on Wednesday, and no surprises when I tell you that Dynamite did the thing. Well done, Dynamite. But quite a historical ratings war this week.
It really was. So, the numbers, let's get down to them. Dynamite beating NXT, as Tom says, with 865,000 viewers. NXT averaging 717,000 viewers. But the interesting thing is here, it's the first time that AEW have beaten WWE NXT in every demographic. So, previously, every other week, NXT have been beating AEW in the over 50s demographic.
The Goldberg demographic.
Exactly, and everyone else is watching AEW. This is the first week that AEW's beaten them absolutely everywhere. And I think that speaks volumes to the consistency of AEW Dynamite. Week in, week out, I think it's been a great show, especially the last 4 or 5 weeks. Really strong TV.
Yeah, and as the NXT graded guy, even I say, last couple of weeks, Dynamite have owned it. They really have. And there's been, and I like the fact that NXT aren't so much going down the route, because they went for a little while where they went down the route of lots like shock booking and throwing Raw and SmackDown guys on there. Now they're very much, obviously Charlotte was on NXT this past week, but they're sort of staying the course now, and they're sort of building people as they go. And whether or not this means eventually they latch onto something that turns the tide, I don't know. They just kind of steady away at the moment, it seems, on NXT, which I like.
I think they might start panicking and putting more Raw SmackDown guys and gals on there, though. But it's bad news for them.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, I think they'll see this and they will be upset the fact that the older clientele hasn't served them well, which is kind of sweetly ironic when you truly think about it. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Cultaholic. Lastly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.